Today on First Round KO, we're trying a little something different, and I'm not going live, but it's going to be great. We talk a lot of NBA free agency because holy crap, has it been a wild 2 days already. It has been a wild and electric Saturday and Sunday for NBA free agency. If we have time, we'll also dive into the first 4 games of the World Cup. But until then, let's get ready to... Welcome to the most must-hear WSUW sports podcast in history. Welcome to First Round KO. I am your host, KO, a.k.a. Howard J. Dingers, and I have 2 special guests today. And I start off with Mr. Connor Moore.
Hello, hello.
Oh, good. We can actually hear. Oh, yeah, I forgot to turn you down, too. That was probably a little loud for people. That's okay. I'll go in and fix that in post. So, Connor, how's it going?
Oh man, it's going well. Thank you for having me on. I know we had talked about this a lot during school, so no, I'm pumped. I think I finally came off my post music festival excitement from last week, going to cover festival for 91.7, and yeah, I'm ready to get back to what I do best, which is talking sports.
Host of sports and more, and sometimes Hawk Talk, but you're just a big thing here in Whitewater and on 91.7 and on UWW TV. You're just huge.
I don't know about big thing.
You're an award-winning host, so I would say you're pretty big.
I'm all right. I just like to do my job and go home and watch Friends, man. That's all I do.
Well, you're obviously great at your job. I'm so happy to have you on finally. And like I said, we're going to have a full episode with Connor on Wednesday. But I had to bring you on today because me and you are probably the biggest LeBron James fans in Whitewater.
Probably 2 of the biggest, yeah. It's kind of hard to find. There aren't many of us, but the big ones, yeah, I think we're on that list.
So real quick, I just got an update.
Oh my goodness!
Breaking
are you seeing
news.
The same thing that I'm looking at?
Yup. Lance Stevenson just signed a 1-year contract with the Lakers. Lance Stevenson, the man. I'm so far away from my mic right now. Lance Stevenson is the man who tormented LeBron through the playoffs. We're blowing in his ear at the crazy defense, and now he's playing. Oh my God! This offseason is amazing. I love it so much.
Wow!
Holy shit! Yeah, so back to the biggest news. The reason I have you on, LeBron James signed a 4-year contract with the Los Angeles Lakers. It's a 3-year deal with a player option in the 4th year for, I believe, it was $154 million. Connor, what is your take on this whole thing?
Yeah, so I have to kind of back this up throughout, even when we were still in school, because the entire time this was the biggest topics that we would talk about, even on Hawk Talk. And I was so adamant. I mean, adamant might not be the right word, but I was always kind of thinking, I don't know where else he realistically could go for Cleveland, because at first I was thinking the whole legacy play and then everything else. And then obviously the playoffs happened the way they did, and then game 1 of the NBA Finals this year happened the way that it did. And after that point, for me, it was kind of just like, yeah, he's going to leave. It's just a matter of where. And in my mind, and literally earlier today, I was just talking to my dad, and both of us were kind of just like, he can't go to LA. Not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just the Western Conference. It's a bloodbath over there. And, and here I am, I was just laying around. I was watching, I think, the college home run derby. And then like you and like every NBA fan probably should, if they have a Twitter account when free agency happens, I turned on my Twitter notifications to get a tweet from Adrian Wojnarowski, and then out of nowhere my phone buzzes, and I just thought it was just a Snapchat, and sure enough, LeBron James signs for the Lakers. And
Woj bomb of the biggest magnitude.
Yeah, I think that's the Woj bomb of all Woj bombs, honestly.
It was huge.
My thought about it is, I mean, the more that I think about it, and all the different reports that came out about it, it makes sense. It makes in a way a lot of sense because I think now we're starting to see a LeBron James that, you know, I don't want to say he's secure in his legacy, but I think he realizes that his legacy is a lot more than just the whole he'll never be Michael Jordan, or
Absolutely.
he'll never be Kobe Bryant, which ironically enough now he's going to a team that Kobe made, and Kobe actually went out and approved of this deal. Not that really matters. I mean, I guess to diehard Lakers fans it does. But I think we're starting to see a LeBron James that realizes that his legacy. I mean, he's always said it's bigger than basketball, and it really is for LeBron James. The legacy of LeBron is bigger than basketball. He's a media mogul now. He's an executive producer on so many shows and movies. His kids are getting older now. I just saw something on ESPN earlier before I hopped on saying that his wife Savannah, really wanted to go to LA. The house that they had, there was a bunch of renovations that she was overseeing.
You're meaning to tell me that she didn't want to leave in Cleveland, that she wanted to go to LA? Like, why? Who would want to leave? Who would want to leave Akron for Los Angeles?
I mean, a lot of people forget that. I mean, these two are high school sweethearts and everything. But I think because, with Savannah having with the businesses that she has, LeBron, he has a wide range of different things outside of the basketball world. When we talk about the LeBron James brand, it makes all the sense in the world. When you're looking at the LeBron James brand, it's looking at it. It has everything, and now I see with the jersey on.
I just turned on my camera and showed Connor. I had to go home and change into my Lakers Kyle Kuzma jersey because I'm that excited right now.
Oh my goodness! I'm gonna have some LeBron jerseys incoming soon before I get back to Whitewater.
So, real quick, one last thing before you go. Because LA is such it's in the Western Conference. Its roster isn't that strong compared to the other teams that LeBron was looking at: Philly, Houston, Boston, all these other teams. What do you think was the deciding factor for LeBron to pick LA over these other teams?
I think a lot of it had to be a brand play. It had to have been a brand play, and I also think that Magic Johnson and the Lakers, there has to be a long game to this. Because you're right. The roster, as it stands, as you look at it now, it's not as strong as a Philly or a Boston or a Houston. Even though when he opted out of that contract, realistically, financially, the only teams that were in on him were L.A., Philly, and Cleveland. So I think it was a brand play, and also there's a long game because of this. And we've seen this with the decision 1, we've seen this with the decision 2.0, and we already saw it, within 30 minutes, an hour of the decision 3.0 with Lance Stevenson going there and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope re-upping for a year. LeBron is the biggest domino to fall. So wherever he goes, and this team, on paper, it's not as dominant, but these are a lot of young, promising players. Lonzo Ball's no scrub. Josh Hart, people seem to forget about him. Kyle Kuzma, a revelation, really.
They just drafted Mo Wagner.
Exactly. They just drafted him. So, this is a very, very young, raw team. But, obviously you add somebody like a LeBron James, and then someone else is coming. Whether it's a veteran on the minimum, whether it's Kawhi Leonard, someone else is coming to LA. So there's a long game played for this. So I think that's what mattered. I think it was a brand play because I think that entire family felt that it was time to go over there. And I also think from a basketball standpoint, there's more to this move. We've seen this anytime LeBron makes a free agency move. Wherever he goes, the dominoes fall, and then you just see people out of the woodwork get out of contracts, go there. The Lakers still have some bad contracts on their roster too, and I guarantee you they're going to buy those out and really retool this team. So it's going to be interesting. By the time we have that full episode that I'm on Wednesday, we could be having the same conversation, and that roster's turned upside down. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Absolutely, yeah. Like you said, you're going to be on Wednesday. It's going to be great. Hopefully we have more signings to talk about, maybe even a couple trades. But, yeah, thank you so much, Connor, for your immediate LeBron. This is just crazy to me. I still can't believe this is happening. I'm so flustered. But thank you so much for coming on today, and we'll talk to you on Wednesday.
Yeah, man. Sounds good. I'll see you guys then.
Thanks.
Yep.
And now I welcome on who's been sitting here patiently because he forgot his headphones and he couldn't hear that whole interview. This is his second time on the show, Mr. Carter Secor.
Saw, dude.
What's up?
By the way, that interview sounded great
from my from the all my questions sounded amazing. I'm sure.
Like, that sounded like you had fun.
Oh, absolutely. Wednesday's going to be a good show. So yeah, we're literally just going to talk about all these NBA signings so far, because other than 2 signings, they've all been pretty wild.
Right. Yeah.
So obviously we're going to start. We've already been talking about it, so we're just going to keep into it. LeBron to the Lakers. What are your initial thoughts?
I mean, I get why he would go because he's getting paid. What is it, like $35 million a year, to win a championship? But I don't know. It's kind of like he could have gone to the 76ers. He still. If he would have stayed in the East, it would have been the easiest path to the finals.
Oh, absolutely.
Ever.
It's the same like it was this year.
Right. So, I mean...
easier than last year, actually, I would say, because he has a better team.
Well, yeah, it would be. So, if he was just going after... If he was ring hunting, like I would say Durant did, or some other people have done, it would have made more sense for him to stay in the East. I think he wants to be remembered as like a god on the court, so he's going to the Lakers, where he's actually going to have to put effort in to win a championship because the East is just stacked. So I don't know. I get it, but also if he just wants to keep winning championships, he should have gone to the Lakers. Another thing is that this is going to be the point in his career where we say, like, this is going to be the defining moment where he say, oh, it's a good thing he went with the Lakers because he won all those championships. Or oh, he should have gone.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah, I really do agree. And so the most interesting thing about this deal is the length, because it's a 4-year deal, 3 years with a player option in the 4th year. And you know what's very interesting is that LeBron's son is a freshman in high school,
and
so in 4 years, depending on what the rules are for NBA eligibility at that point, in 4 years he will have played his 1 year at college, and he will be able to leave college and become an NBA player.
Ooh.
So LeBron is setting himself up right now
to leave the Lakers if his son goes somewhere else.
He can pick up that last option and then be a free agent the year that his kid gets drafted. LeBron wants to play with his son. He's already said that he wants to play with his son.
Is his son good, though? Like, I've seen him try to dunk, and it's insane.
Yes. From what I've seen, yeah. But, I mean, he's playing against other freshmen.
Right. It's like watching videos of Sharif O'Neal. You don't know, but you have an idea.
Like, everyone says Zion's going to be the next big thing. I don't think he's going to be that great. I hope he is because I'm a Duke fan.
Right.
But, like, he's dunking on high school white kids. That's not the same as playing D1 basketball.
Right.
But yeah,
that's an interesting way to look at it too, especially.
Right? Well, because these past, I think it's like 3 or 4 years, we've seen LeBron sign these 1 year with a player option deals,
right,
so that he can get more money every year. So I kind of thought that was what he was going to do in LA. Seeing a 4-year deal, a 3-year with a player option deal, was very shocking to me.
Yeah, but it was max contract.
Exactly. That also probably has more to do with it. This is probably just big conspiracy on my part, but
I mean, no, but that is a good point. That's why when I was on 2 weeks ago Friday, I was saying that 2021 draft pick that got traded around, Miami's draft pick, that was huge because it's the first year that high schoolers can come into the league if they change the one and done rule.
That's true.
So this is just even more reinforcing that I was right and it wasn't a hot take, that like the one and done rule is going to be huge in terms of the future of basketball.
Yeah, especially if because then he can just opt out and go with his son after 3 years.
Right. Well, and
I'm pretty sure he's a freshman. He's either freshman or 8th grade.
Yeah.
Something
he's
like
a freshman.
Is he a freshman?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's going to be an interesting time that like in a couple of years. But like I said, this is going to be the defining point in his career whether he got it right or whether he got it wrong. And if he gets it wrong, boy, oh boy, are we never going to hear the end of it.
And a lot of that is going to turn on to the Lakers front office now, because they're going to need to put a team around him.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole reason he left Cleveland. So now, and the reports are coming out now that since LeBron signed, or he has not signed, he agreed to sign.
Right.
NBA players cannot sign contracts until July 9th. So none of these contracts are absolutely for sure, because they're not pen and paper. They are all agreed upon, handshake, verbal commitments. But since he agreed to sign, the Lakers are reportedly going heavily and more aggressive with the Spurs to get Kawhi Leonard.
Really?
Now, I thought it was going to have a reverse effect.
That's what I was telling people
I thought
today.
since he signed that they were going to not be as aggressive and try to get the minimum, but apparently they're like even more aggressive than they were before.
Okay. Because what I was telling people and what I had thought is that the Lakers signing LeBron just puts more pressure on the Spurs to do something with Kawhi if they're going to.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see how the whole cap situation works out with the Lakers too, whether they can even afford.
Oh, they can.
They can?
They can afford 2 max contracts.
That's crazy.
Yes.
That's not fair.
Especially if this trade goes down, I'm guessing Luol Deng's going to be in there because he's getting paid a lot. I don't know the specific numbers, but he's getting paid way too much. So he will, I'm assuming, be in whatever trade that the Lakers try to make to get rid of that cap.
Okay.
It's something ridiculous, like 19 or something like that.
$18 million
18
next year.
yeah.
Jeez, that's crazy.
Yeah, for Luol Deng. No disrespect, but the dude's old now too.
Right.
The other biggest thing about this LeBron thing, it kind of shatters expectations, because a lot of people thought, and it kind of did have an effect, but we all thought LeBron was going to be the third domino to fall out of these big three. And it wasn't. LeBron was the second. The Paul George, we'll get to him in a minute. Paul George decides to stay. And then I thought that Kawhi was still going to have to move before LeBron decided. Apparently, LeBron decided yesterday, and he was just waiting.
But that's interesting then.
But I thought he was going to wait until Kawhi went somewhere.
Because, well, what I had heard is that if you were LeBron, you wanted to force the issue with Kawhi, and you wanted to get signed before him, so that you kind of get first pickings on whatever deal.
That's interesting too.
It's like a reverse situation of Aaron Rodgers and Matt Ryan, where you don't want to wait each other out. You want to get there first, especially with how the max contracts work.
But Kawhi's getting traded, so it's not necessarily he's looking for money right now.
Right. But
I still, I can kind of see that.
Because if the Lakers take on both Kawhi and LeBron,
then they okay.
And depending on how long, because Kawhi's got 1 year left on his deal.
Yes.
Yeah. So depending on how long he wants to re-sign for, LeBron being there could affect that.
Yeah.
And LeBron doesn't want to. It's like the timing. You don't want to be playing second fiddle, getting your contract signed, and you don't want to have a cap or like a hard cap besides a max on how much you want to get signed.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm really interested to see what this whole Kawhi Leonard thing goes, because the Spurs have flat out said, we know that this relationship is beyond repair. We know that it's not. We know that it's not good. We're gonna get rid of him.
Which good on them.
Great on them, because otherwise it would have got real messy real quick. Messy. I'm so sad now. Oh God. Okay, so speaking of 4-year deals and mind-blowing 4-year deals, Paul George, formerly of the Indiana Pacers, got traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder because he told the Pacers, quote, "I'm not going to re-sign with you. I'm going to sign in L.A." He then re-ups with the Oklahoma City Thunder for a 4-year deal. I think it might be a 3-year with a player option again, the same as LeBron's. But he's getting paid a lot. He's getting paid a lot too, isn't he? It's like,
yeah.
I don't know what it is.
I got you.
Something ridiculous. But here's the thing. It's not as much as he could be making.
Right. It's just a bad choice in general.
It's so bad on so many different levels.
Because Oklahoma City showed that they don't have it last year.
They got eliminated in the first round.
Yeah.
So they're not close to a title.
No. He's old, too.
He's old. Russell Westbrook has it's proven, like, statistical wise, that all of his teammates are better when they leave him.
Right.
All of his teammates, Enes Kanter, Victor Oladipo, Kevin Durant, Serge Ibaka, Reggie Jackson in Detroit. All of these players get so much better when they don't play with Russell.
Yeah, I don't get why. I mean, I guess you have Carmelo there, but it's still the problem.
Carmelo's a whole other situation.
Yeah.
Carmelo's a whole other situation. We'll probably get to him too. But and here's the other level of this. He signed, it's a 4-year deal, which is dumb, because if he would have signed, I think it's a 3. How many years has he been in the league?
Oh, I don't even know.
I think it's 7.
That sounds about right.
7 or 8. If he would have signed a 2 or 3 year deal, depending on 7 or 10, he would have hit his tenure in the NBA, and then he's eligible for a raise. But now he doesn't get that for another year or 2.
Right.
So even if you make the argument that he's chasing money, he's not.
But he is, because he got paid more than LeBron.
He did?
Yeah, he's getting a $137 million max contract.
LeBron got 154.
You're right. I can't do math.
That's also what I'm saying. If he was okay, so he's not ring chasing because he's in Oklahoma City,
right?
And they're not close.
No,
so like you can't make an argument that the Oklahoma City Thunder are even viable contenders in the West right now. So he's not ring chasing, and he's not money chasing because this dude could have went to LA in LeBron's spot and got that 154 mil. And probably could have signed 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
Or he could have done the 3-year, got his tenure, and then got more money from LA. But instead, he signs $137 for 4 years in Oklahoma City to play alongside Russell Westbrook, which, interestingly enough, their contracts now match up. They're free agents at the same time.
Really?
Yes. Which that is also very interesting.
That's even worse.
It's very worse.
That's horrible.
You know what I think will happen is that they're going to re-up on Paul George and then let Russell walk.
If
I was the Thunder, that's what I would do.
That's what I would do too.
Immediately.
Because, I mean, as you've said, stats have shown that he's probably the worst.
He's just not a good teammate. He's a stat patter.
He's not, and
he's not worried about winning.
Well, wasn't there one game during the regular season where he shoved his own players out of the way to get rebounds?
Yeah, he needs his triple doubles.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the last game of the season, he needed 16 boards to average a triple-double for the season, and he, during free throws, moved his own players out of the thing so that he could be there to grab rebounds.
That's just horrible.
Dude, why would you want to re-sign to play with that dude? Yeah. I don't get it. And they kept saying, so Chris Paul, when he re-upped, he posted everywhere, unfinished business. Because the Rockets had the Warriors down 3-2,
right.
And then Chris Paul got hurt. So, yes, they absolutely have unfinished business. And then Paul George says, I'm here to stay. We have unfinished business. With the Utah Jazz? Is that who you have unfinished business with? Because you lost to them in the first round.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense in general because just why there are so many teams that were looking for just decent players in general. Why would you want to stay with OKC?
He could have went.
He could have went anywhere.
Literally, I shouldn't say literally. Most other places.
Right.
He could have went to Phoenix.
I wouldn't want to go to Phoenix.
I would.
You would?
That's a young, very talented team.
Yeah.
You add a player like Paul George, he's the leader of that team with Devin Booker.
But you're still in the West then.
I agree.
My thing is if I'm going to move somewhere to a young team like that, you want to go to the East.
I think Paul George would have, because the East would have been his.
Right.
If he could have went to Washington. He could have went to Boston. He could have went to Philly.
Yeah.
He could have went to any number of
Milwaukee.
teams. He could have came to Milwaukee. I would have accepted him in Milwaukee.
He would have had to take a pay cut, but he could have done that.
And it's just mind-blowing.
Yeah.
He could have had more money elsewhere. He's nowhere near a ring. He could have got more guaranteed years elsewhere. He could dominate in the East, but he stayed in the West. This makes no sense on any level.
Yeah, it's just bad.
It's really bad. You know what makes this even worse? He told Indiana that he wasn't going to re-sign because he wanted to sign with LA.
Right.
He didn't even talk to LA. He didn't talk to any other team. He stayed in Oklahoma City, and they had that party at Russell's house. Russell Westbrook threw a party. Paul George was there, And it started at like 10 o'clock at night, so that 2 hours they were partying until midnight when free agency opened, and that's when he announced that he was staying.
Was he drunk? Is Russell a great people person?
I don't know. They were both smoking cigars. They probably were drinking Hennessy. I don't know. But this dude, literally, other teams tried to talk to him. Philadelphia and the Lakers are the two teams that I know tried to talk to him, and he did not talk to them.
That's just stupid.
He probably told Oklahoma City 3 days ago that he was going to re-sign with them, and then just no one else talked to him.
Well, because he declined the option.
Well, yeah, but that's so that he could re-sign.
Right, but I guess he is making more.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I love the breaking news on Friday morning.
That he declined his option.
That him and LeBron both declined that. Shit that they're going to decline their options.
And then did you see that freaking thing on ESPN where it was like, Paul George, what comes next? And it's like... That's not the big story.
The declining options are the stupidest thing because, especially with LeBron and Paul George, we knew all season that they were going to decline.
Right. But my thing is, if you were going to do this, why not take the option, just take the extra year, and then see if you actually like it? Because he's only played 1 year at OKC. Why sign for 4?
That's the other thing. Next year's free agency class is arguably better than this one. Now you take out LeBron and you take out LeBron, KD, Paul George, and Chris Paul, which all potentially could have been free agents next year because they all had player options. Or no, Chris Paul didn't. But regardless, next year you take out those guys, but you still, I'm going to look this up because it's something ridiculous. It's Klay Thompson, it's Kyrie Irving, it's Jimmy Butler, 2019 NBA free agents. I keep hitting the wrong mouse.
That happens.
He could have opted in and
Right.
tested another year in Oklahoma City. And then you have Carmelo Anthony, who just opted in, Chandler Parsons, Dwight Howard, unless he's going to have to sign somewhere else, so he probably won't be next year. Enes Kanter, who just opted in, he'll be a free agent next year. Klay Thompson, Tobias Harris, DeMar Carroll, Ricky Rubio, Taj Gibson, Robin Lopez, Thaddeus Young, Nikola Vucevic,
Yep.
Jeremy Lin.
He is still playing.
He is still playing. Zach Randolph, he'll probably retire
Gortat.
soon. Gortat.
He's going to retire soon.
Bogdanovich, Terrence Ross, who's getting overpaid in Orlando.
Kemba.
All these big names. I could have swore Kyrie. I know Kyrie's a free agent next year. Oh, Karl Anthony Towns. Oh, that's my next biggest thing. So we're gonna finish up this Paul George thing. But then I want to talk before we get to more signings. I have something else that we want to talk about. This Paul George, it just doesn't make any sense.
It's stupid.
Because he could have joined this team and then maybe, pulled a LeBron Miami thing and teamed up with a couple dudes somewhere.
Right. Westbrook must be a really good people person, or they were drinking a lot of Hennessy. It just doesn't make sense.
It really doesn't.
Like
something about OKC that maybe...
It is the cheapest market.
Yeah.
One of the cheapest markets. So But again, you're making $19, $20 million.
And someone else brought up the point that, maybe he saw the fact that they traded for him not knowing that he was going to re-sign. Maybe he saw that as you guys want me, believe in me. I'm not sure.
I mean, even if you're his agent, though, why aren't you...
Could have got more money.
It doesn't make sense.
It makes no sense on any level.
It's really stupid.
I really just don't understand this. So, okay. Speaking of 2019 free agents. So, two of the biggest names in the 2019 NBA free agency pool are Devin Booker and Karl Anthony Towns. Both their rookie contracts will be up next year. And it's interesting. I think that they'll both re-up with their teams because I think they're just good building blocks. But the interesting thing is the Phoenix Suns, as much as they've been building, today they released Tyler Ulis.
I saw that.
Which isn't that big of a deal. Dude's not that great of a player. He's more of a role player. He's a third string. It's whatever. But he played at Kentucky with Devin Booker, and he's one of Devin Booker's best friends. Apparently, reports are saying that Devin Booker is very upset that they cut him. He is very, very upset that his best friend is not on the same team anymore because they just decided that they didn't want him. Now, why would you, if you're the Phoenix Suns, why would you go and cut the best friend of your franchise player whose contract is up next season? That just doesn't make any sense to me.
Unless they're clearing up cap space for someone else.
Who?
Well, not with the Ulis cut, but I honestly don't know.
You know, it's stuff like that that just makes me think like sometimes these GMs don't think these through,
or
they just don't care, and then maybe they don't.
I mean,
think
they probably don't care.
But this could have effects on Devin Booker. Like Devin Booker could potentially.
Does he have a good relationship with the team right now? Before all this happened,
he probably had a decent. I don't know. I guess.
Because, I mean, that could be part of it. They doesn't have a good relationship with the team.
And then this happened,
this
he's
happens,
apparently super upset about it.
I don't know.
It's very interesting. They have the lowest odds to win the... Oh, no, not the lowest odds. The Hawks have the lowest odds at 1,000 to 1. We're going to get to the odds later because the odds changed when a certain LeBron James signed. And we'll get to that in a second, too. Yeah. I don't know. That was just a dumb move. I had to bring that up because that seems like something that they did not think completely through and now might regret at some point.
Yeah. I mean, but it is a business, though.
It is. I agree.
You can't keep people around just
but
because
it's a business where it's reliant on stars, and you got to keep your stars happy.
Yeah, there's not going to be any Moneyball type things going on.
So we mentioned Kevin Durant and Chris Paul already. They both re-signed with their teams.
Kevin Durant was obvious.
Kevin Durant was obvious. The only thing that was minorly interesting about that was the false reports about LeBron texting KD to come join him in LA, which I thought was hilarious when I saw that they were false.
Right.
I laughed really hard. I felt bad for Stephen A. because he already gets a bunch of shit, but it's fine.
Stephen A. is not as bad as Skip.
And I feel like the Chris Paul thing was obvious too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Because like, why would you had the Warriors beat?
Why wouldn't you?
Why would you leave?
Right. The things that I've been seeing on the Chris Paul re-signing is that it's actually bad for the Rockets because he has injury trouble. Because he has injury trouble and it's such a long deal. But that's really
the other thing. So the big thing about Carmelo Anthony's contract is that he's not worth that money right now, but he signed that money years ago when he was worth that. And that's the argument people are making about Chris Paul. He might be worth this right now, but in 4 years, is he going to be able to play to this level where he'd be worth it?
I mean, he'll be 37.
Yeah.
I don't think he will, but...
I don't think he has the same body type as LeBron.
No, he doesn't, but it's the Rockets' fault for signing him for 4 years.
I agree. I love that they're the same age, and we're saying that Chris Paul is going to be bad in 4 years, but LeBron is going to be signing with a new team and playing with his son.
But, I mean, you're so right, though, because just look, LeBron is built like a house.
Oh, yeah.
And Chris Paul's really string beanie. He's not exactly like
he's a small
guy.
dude, and LeBron's been going through these military things, taking care of his body so that he can play 82 games in his 15th season.
Yeah, and he takes off, too.
That's the other thing. He didn't play college, so he's been playing more than Chris Paul.
Right.
Also. That dude's just ridiculous.
Obviously.
Obviously. I'm the biggest. I hope you all know. I am, like I said with Connor, I am one of the biggest LeBron James fans. When I started watching.
And you were one before.
I was one before because I started watching basketball when his last year in Cleveland.
Okay.
And I was like, this dude's amazing. And then he goes and leaves Cleveland and goes to Miami. I was like, okay, well, now I have to be a Miami Heat fan. Because I wasn't a Cleveland fan at that point. I was a LeBron James fan. He went to Miami, and I was like, oh, this team's dope.
Yeah.
Chris Bosh, dude, looks like a dinosaur. He looks awesome, too. And Dwayne Wade, he went to Marquette. So
right.
So I was like, okay, Miami's my team. Obviously, the Bucks. I'm always a hometown dude, but Miami was one of my teams. And then he went back to Cleveland, and Cleveland had Kyrie Irving, who's a dookie. So I liked him already, and so then I was like, okay, I'll cheer for Cleveland. I wouldn't say I was a Cleveland fan. I was cheering for them because LeBron had, and now he's in LA, and I already have a Kyle Kuzma jersey, and I like Lonzo Ball, and I love all the young players that they have. So I am 100%. I shouldn't say that. I am 99% a Laker fan this year, and that 1%. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say it like that.
You're like almost there, but you're not there.
Right. I'm a Lakers fan.
Because of LeBron.
But when the Lakers play the Bucks, I will obviously be cheering for the Bucks.
Right. Ooh, those will be good games.
I'm going to get to that in a second.
Okay.
Because we'll get to that later. Clint Capella we're not going to talk about anyone who hasn't signed because everything could.
Can we talk about Jabari?
Yes, we can talk about Jabari. Because they could sign right now and we couldn't see it, and then everything we say is irrelevant.
Right.
Clint Capella needs to sign with Houston.
Yeah.
If not, they will lose Trevor Ariza and him, and that will be very bad. And
Because they'll lose all their depth.
exactly, that'll be terrible. Cousins is interesting too because now he's talking to the Washington Wizards, he's talking to LA, and he's talking to the Pelicans. Those are the three teams he's talking to. I hope he comes to LA.
Yeah, that would make the most sense.
Yep.
Because they'll have LeBron, they have Lonzo, they don't.
And I don't think him, Paul George, and Bradley Beal. I don't think that's a good pairing.
Right, they don't really have a strong center, especially if they're going to give away Luol Deng.
Yeah, because Brook Lopez is a free agent too.
Yeah.
So they need to either sign him or go get someone. And next, DeAndre Jordan. So last season, DeAndre Jordan was a free agent.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure. Did he sign a 1-year deal?
Yeah, he did.
Okay. So last year he was a free agent for the LA Clippers, and reports came out. It was the same time. It was in between July 1st and July 9th, where no one could actually sign, but there were a lot of reported signings or reported agreements. And it was reported that DeAndre Jordan was signing with the Mavericks. A couple days later, he said he came out and he changed his mind. Basically, apparently the Clippers had another meeting with him after that announcement, and he changed his mind. He decided, just kidding, I'm going to stay in LA because
I want to play
with Blake because Blake's going to be there forever.
Right.
His jersey's in the rafters. He's going to be there forever.
Yeah.
And then Blake gets traded. And Chris Paul left. JJ Redick left.
That franchise has been a dumpster fire though for a while.
I felt so bad for them.
Yeah.
They should have won the title a couple of years ago. It was their year and they choked.
Yeah. But
it was bad.
Just in general, ownership all the way down. Not been a good franchise.
Yeah, and I feel bad for them because they were a fun team and they had a lot of good players for them. So now we come to this season. His 1-year deal is up in LA, and DeAndre Jordan has once again agreed to a 1-year deal with the Dallas Mavericks.
If I'm the Mavs, I don't like this. I mean, I like it because it's DeAndre Jordan, but I don't like it because
I won't like it until July 9th.
Right. I guess I don't like that players can do, or that you can do this in the NBA.
I hate it. First of all, I hate the tampering rule.
Right.
Because obviously teams are talking to players.
Right.
Paul George did not just sign that contract at 12:01 or
Well, tampering wouldn't be for him because he's already on the team.
That's true, I guess. Apparently LeBron knew Saturday night too. Well, I guess that would have been yesterday night. I don't know. We know that these tampering
we know that they're talking to each other.
We know things happen.
Yeah.
So I hate that rule. And then I hate that, this period where it's all conjecture, basically. It's nothing's for sure until the 9th when they can actually sign. Why not just have them able to sign the day free agency opens? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, because I like the NFL so much better in this way. It's free agency starts, everyone signs.
Yeah.
It's the best free agency was after the Packers won the Super Bowl in 2010 and there was a lockout.
Yeah.
And then it was just like everyone signed in like a week. But I don't know. I really don't like how they make you wait 9 days to sign with someone.
Because now I'm scared, and if I'm the Mavericks, I'm scared that it's going to happen again.
Well, not
necessarily him going back to LA,
but just because he agrees with you doesn't mean that
because
the
he
Lakers
could go somewhere
can't come.
else. And that's with any of these contracts.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised. Like I don't think he would ever do this, but I wouldn't be surprised if LeBron
gets a better deal and goes somewhere else.
Goes to Philly.
They couldn't afford that. They couldn't afford the better deal.
He doesn't need money though.
Yeah.
If he decides he'd rather go play with Philly,
yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised something like that, or Paul George even. I wouldn't be surprised if he pulled out. It could happen with any of these contracts because they're not official. But this DeAndre Jordan one is specifically interesting because
he's already done this before.
Year.
Yeah, it's really kind of a fool me once, fool me twice situation.
I agree. So we'll see. If the Mavericks end up getting Jordan, good for them because they got Luka Doncic. who's going to be good. They still have Dirk, I think.
They do.
He's a free agent, but I'm sure he'll re-up.
If he doesn't retire,
if he doesn't, he'll re-up. I don't know who else. Oh, they have that rookie from last year. What's his name? Dennis Smith Jr.
Yep.
Who actually just came out of nowhere. He was really good.
Yeah.
So they have potential. I think they still have Harrison Barnes.
Yeah, they do. Dirk Nowitzki's 40 though.
Dude's old,
That's
but
scary.
he can still play. I
Yeah.
mean, and especially if you have a center like DeAndre, I don't know. Dallas, we've seen Dallas make some noise.
Yep.
Even when they're not one of the best teams. So
Mark Cuban's a genius.
exactly. Watch. I would keep your eye on Dallas because it could be interesting if DeAndre decides to stay.
Yeah.
It's not showing on here because I haven't refreshed, but Aaron Gordon signed a contract with the Magic. Let me see if I can find it again. Oh my God, another Lakers signing. JaVale McGee
Ooh, that's
is
good.
signing a 1-year minimum deal for the Lakers.
Warriors in 4.
No, they don't have JaVale anymore.
That doesn't matter.
So Aaron Gordon, I'm trying to find this, and now I'm missing it. Aaron Gordon signed a deal. He was being chased by the Lakers because he's a free agent out of Orlando, but he signed a 4-year, $84 million deal with the Magic to stay in Orlando. I think this is a bad move.
To stay in Orlando?
Yes.
For Aaron Gordon?
Yes.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
he's a young dude, and it's not like he's going to change a team necessarily.
yeah, but
So if I'm Aaron Gordon, I'm probably taking that deal just because it's $84 million.
but if I'm Aaron Gordon, I'm waiting one day, see who else offers me money.
Oh, exactly.
Like, it's kind of like staying
Someone like him can wait
right.
and not sign right away.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
It's like staying at college for your junior year to play in your basketball team one more time. It's like, do you take the risk of getting hurt, or do you just like go right away? He obviously went right away because I don't know. He's 22, but
Yeah.
he's got time.
This is obviously a money move.
Yeah.
And
But why would you want to stay in Orlando?
for the money, and I mean,
They haven't been good since Shaq.
no, they really haven't. They really only have him, Vucevic. They have Terrence Ross, who's way overpaid. He hasn't even been good since Toronto.
Yeah.
They have Mo Bamba now, who's got a lot of potential. I think he's going to be really good. But that's about it.
Yep.
Because they gave up Alfred Payton. And he just signed with the Pelicans.
Yeah.
So now they don't have him.
Why would you want to go to New Orleans? I don't get why half these players go to these bad teams. If you're signing on day one, you're usually signing to like a good team.
Yeah.
Like, why?
But the Magic, I don't like. I get because I guess they drafted him, so he's re-upping with them. I don't know, but
he can wait.
I would have waited.
Yeah,
I would have waited for sure. He could have got a lot more money.
It's a smart move because if you wait, you get more money once everyone calms down.
Yeah. The next big signing was Trevor Ariza leaving Houston and signing with Phoenix.
It's only a 1-year deal though.
It's a 1-year deal because he's 33 years old.
And
he's only 33. I feel like he's a lot. It feels like he's been in the league for 33 years.
Yeah.
Dude's been crazy. And it's with Phoenix. So this is an interesting move, both for Trevor Ariza and for Houston, because Trevor Ariza, he's now going to be that veteran presence in the locker room for Phoenix.
Right.
And he's going to be a defensive presence for a team that was terrible defensively last year. And he's going to be a mentor to not only Devin Booker and Josh Jackson, but now also for DeAndre Ayton. And having that veteran presence is really going to help Phoenix. I think this is a very good pickup for them. But
Yeah, and it does replace Bledsoe. And
Yeah.
to a point.
Right,
He's
yeah.
a small forward shooting guard. But
right. But yeah, but this is huge for Houston because he was their defensive guy. He was the guy who guarded Durant.
Right,
And I
and
think he did a very good job
he
guarding
did.
Durant. And
Houston showed during the playoffs that they don't have a defense.
no, they really don't.
They can't play physical, which
Their only defense is Chris Paul.
Yeah.
And even then, he's getting older. He can't play as well as he did.
Right.
And so you take away Trevor Ariza, who was your, all-around defensive dude who could guard most positions, and he was a three-point shooter. So that takes away from your biggest weapon last year.
not when it mattered most.
I agree. He was terrible in the playoffs. But regular season, they were they were the 3-point shooting team even over the Warriors, and now you lose one of your shooters again. So that could potentially be a big loss for Houston.
Yeah.
Losing a defensive player like that.
Yeah, I mean, like we had said earlier, you lose Trevor Ariza and the other guy, or just even one of them, you lose half your depth on that team.
Exactly.
Like half of your quality
They
depth.
did re-sign Gerald Green,
but
Gerald Green has been on 10 different teams. My favorite dunker of all time, by the way.
Yeah. No.
Yes.
No, Vince Carter.
No, I like Gerald Green better.
Okay. You're wrong.
I've also met Gerald Green. So.
Oh, well, there you go. I don't know. For the Rockets, this is bad, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
For the Suns, this is good, obviously. For Trevor Ariza, I don't know. I don't like the bad market teams. I don't like free agents going to the bad market teams, which is kind of...
He easily could have stayed in Houston.
Right.
And just, taken a minimum contract and helped
I didn't
them
think
win.
about that.
Help them win.
Yeah.
I don't know how much this contract is worth, what he agreed on.
I mean,
it's not a lot, but it's more than the minimum for sure. I know that.
He's obviously not ring hunting.
No.
But I mean, if you're on the Rockets, though, don't you kind of want to be?
Oh, absolutely. That's why I would have stayed if I were him.
Yeah,
for sure. But maybe there was a contract issue. Maybe they told him they weren't going to. I'm not sure.
But they can't talk to each other.
Yeah. So they did. No one knew either. Okay, Jabari Parker.
He's gone.
You think he's gone?
He's got to be. There's no way he's taking $4.3 million. Or however much the option is.
See, it's interesting though because someone else has to offer. He's a restricted free agent,
right? And someone's going to offer them that money.
You think so?
We
better not match it.
We're not going to match it. We don't have the cap space
That's
anymore.
That's true. Now we don't have it.
And
who did we sign?
Ersan. Yeah.
We overpaid for Ersan.
Yeah,
but he's not that good.
But with Giannis, it could be a death lineup.
Could be.
It's the Bucks. It's always a could be.
Although I will admit too, Ersan this last season played in Philadelphia,
and he played very well.
He was one of the deciding factors for their late season push.
And he also knows our system. Well, maybe not anymore with Spundholzer.
The stretch four, but we already have Thon. I don't know. I think we overpaid for him.
But the thing is...
But he could work.
Right, but the thing is, Thon's not... He's reliable, but he's not...
He hasn't developed.
He's not money. And then Henson looked like trash in the playoffs.
I don't like John Henson.
This is kind of necessary.
Especially since he's from UNC.
Yeah. Jabari's gone. Because when owners have this much money to just toss around in free agency... And just looking at the list, Jabari Parker would be a big get. Someone's going to throw money at him. It's just a question of who and if he accepts it.
And the sad thing is, I really do think Jabari's going to be a great player. And I'm not so sure about that anymore. I think his injuries are done.
I think he's going to be the next Derrick Rose. I really do.
He didn't get he didn't get off the ground. He hurt himself before he could even get going, which sucks.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, no, I could see that. I really could, where his knees get injured every year. They're that bad. But I really think...
Well, being a forward, playing that physical style that he did, at least, from what I remember. I don't know.
I think there's a lot of potential for either the Bucks or just another team in general to take a risk on him, give him a decent amount of money, and I think it could pay off.
He could go to the Rockets if Mbah Moute doesn't re-sign with them.
That'd be interesting.
That would be.
That would be very interesting.
But I don't know.
I think Chicago's a big spot for him to go.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the.
That's where I would have my money on him going.
Yeah, I would too. Either that or
they'd have to
maybe Philly.
They need to re-sign Levine first. Yeah. But once they get things tied up with him, I think they could definitely go after Jabari.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the Ilyasova pickup just because it's something, and
I think there's better talent that we could have got, though.
But not for the money that we have.
That's true.
Because if you're looking for... Because what was it? 3 years, $21 million? It was a $7 million contract a year. Which is true. It's a good deal for an NBA player who's a veteran. He's not asking for double digits. Just looking at the other free agents on this list who were above Ilyasova, Mbah Moute's old. You don't want Rajon. Wayne Ellington's old. Maybe Caldwell Pope, but he's going to want a ton of money since he's from L.A.
He would stay there. Avery Bradley was a big one that I had my eyes on. Rodney Hood,
But the thing, they're all going to want double-digit contracts.
Absolutely, but the one that will not get a double-digit contract that I really want to get signed, which we still could, is he's way down at the bottom, Jahlil Okafor.
Yeah.
I think because he was basically a flop in Philly because there were people above him, and then he went to Brooklyn and he didn't do that well.
And they don't get covered.
Exactly, and he's unrestricted. I think he's looking to get out of there. I really think he's not going to get a lot of money. I think we can afford him. Especially even now with Ersan, I think we can still afford him.
That's a good choice.
Yeah.
My thing that I was kind of getting to is like, I think there's something else in the works. I think they're looking for another player to sign because you don't take a deal like that.
Or even trade.
Yeah, you don't take a deal like that to kind of shore up a position, but not for a ton of money if you don't have something else in the wings.
Yeah.
Maybe they are waiting for Jabari to see if they can match.
We are in the second day of free agency,
yeah.
So there absolutely could be something in the works, which I really hope. As a Bucks fan, I really do hope that we have something.
I don't know. They get so close every year and then they choke. So it's nice to get some veteran presence on the team.
I really do think Mike Budenholzer is going to be the difference this year.
Do you?
I really do. He brought that Atlanta Hawks team to the 1 seed.
Yeah, but we've been saying that about every single coach we've had since.
I didn't think Jason Kidd was going to bring us to a title.
Really?
No.
A lot of people did.
I didn't think so.
Okay. No way Joe Prunty was.
No, which is why we didn't re-sign him.
Right.
I really do think, especially now LeBron's gone.
Yeah.
And that's going to be my one last thing. I'm going to talk about that. But I really do think the East is open. Toronto always chokes.
Yep.
Philly's young. Boston's the only other one, but
Philly's going to be scary.
Yeah. We'll get to that. Ersan, Aaron Baines staying in Boston.
So he can get dunked on.
He's gonna, the Celtics now have a player who can still get dunked on for the next 2 years.
I do like it though because
he's an enforcer,
and it takes all the pressure, or it takes a lot of the pressure off of Horford.
Yeah, I agree. So
yeah,
it is a good signing. Ed Davis, I don't really. He went to Brooklyn. He left Portland for Brooklyn. What? Yeah. Jeremiah Grant, low key, but it's a good pickup to keep. In Oklahoma City, although he signed a 3-year deal for a lot of money, and I believe that Oklahoma City roster is now combined worth like $314 million or something ridiculous like that, and it really only has 2 stars.
Yeah,
because they still don't have Taj Gibson.
Nope,
and they can't afford him now.
They're just bad.
Yeah, I agree. But he's a low-key he's a good pickup for them. Probably overpaid, but
he's young. It's a 3-year deal.
Yeah.
As long as they keep making it to the playoffs, he can make a name for himself, or making it to the playoffs, he can make a name for himself and get more money.
So this Marco Bellinelli signing is interesting too because he left Philadelphia for the Spurs. He's going back to San Antonio. He played there for a few years. I like it too, but it's interesting because now Philadelphia let Ersan and Marco Bellinelli leave. And we talked about this with Ersan, but Marco Bellinelli was part of this too. He was part of that big late season playoff push.
Right.
He was able to spread the floor, hit threes
and he was clutch.
And he was very clutch because now you look at that roster, Joel Embiid isn't going to take a lot of threes. Markelle Fultz doesn't know how to shoot, and Ben Simmons doesn't have a jump shot.
Nope.
So you really only have JJ Redick now and Robert Covington.
But
he's very shaky.
But
he can be lights out.
Yeah, but does that an NBA Finals team make?
No, absolutely. So I think losing Bellinelli and Ersan is actually huge for Philly. If they don't go out and get Kawhi, they're a worse team than they were last year.
Do you think that's what they were waiting for? They were waiting to sign Kawhi.
They have strong beliefs. They're pushing hard for Kawhi because they have strong beliefs that he will re-sign with them.
I don't like that.
I don't like it either.
Not even as a fan of the Phillies, but just thinking about it as like waiting for a player to re-sign with you while letting 2 big players who aren't exactly going to sign for max contracts.
Absolutely not.
Why are you? They're putting.
who were such key elements in your postseason run.
In hockey, they always talk about how you have a Stanley Cup window. The Capitals just missed it by a year, and then they won. The Lightning are kind of in it now. The Penguins did it 2 years ago, and then they blew their wad or whatever. In basketball, it's kind of the same way, and I think the 76ers are putting all their eggs into the basket. They're going to get Kawhi. Somehow he's going to work with Embiid and Simmons just fine.
And if they don't get Kawhi,
they're screwed.
Yeah, they really are.
And then the process goes
because they didn't get PG, they didn't get LeBron, and they don't get Kawhi.
Yeah,
then they're screwed. I agree.
I mean, unless they're trying some type of we'll have our 2 stars and Moneyball all around afterwards. But I don't think analytics works the same way in basketball that it does anywhere else.
I think so.
Doug McDermott.
Good signing for Indiana.
Yeah.
He'll actually be a pretty solid role player.
Not a big loss for Dallas, though.
No, not at all.
Especially because they
got DeAndre.
Yep.
And Luka Doncic. So yeah,
I love that pick.
I feel like I had. Oh, Zach LaVine. I mentioned him before. He is a free agent right now for the Bulls. The Bulls gave up a lot to get. I shouldn't say that. The Timberwolves gave up LaVine and someone else, I don't remember who, to get Butler. And the Bulls were pretty set in stone at Zach LaVine being their kind of
new
future dude now with Lauri Markkanen and Wendell Carter Jr. So now that he's a free agent, I'm actually surprised that he's not agreed to sign at this point. Because I thought that was going to be number one priority in Chicago.
Maybe he's just waiting.
He might be.
Because I mean, if you're half of a 2-part trade for one of the better players in the league, and you go to one of the Bulls are decent. I mean, they tanked. They tried to tank. They didn't exactly do it. I don't know. Maybe he's waiting. That's what I would do.
If he's not waiting and it's on the Bulls' side, then they're just being dumb. He has a restricted free agent. So
that makes it all the better.
Yeah. So it's interesting. The Bulls need to re-sign him because if they don't and he ends up in a different place, then they just lost the only good piece that they got out of that trade.
Yeah. Do you think Zaza goes anywhere? With his reputation?
Yeah, I think he stays in Golden State.
You think he stays in Golden State?
I think they keep him there, yeah. He's their enforcer. He's their dude that injures people.
They have tons of cap space to do it, too. Or not tons of cap, but they have enough.
They have enough, yeah. And I'm sure he would take a vet min.
Right.
Yeah.
How much is that now? $1 million?
That's a really good question. It wouldn't even tell me for...
It's something close to that.
JaVale's 1-year minimum deal. No idea. So, to wrap up here, we're not going to get to the World Cup.
No.
Me and Connor will probably talk World Cup on
Russia's
Wednesday because he actually watches too. You think Russia?
Yeah.
I got France.
I can see that, but I think...
They impressed. I watched that game against Argentina.
Yeah.
By the way,
that's Argentina.
I'm crying on the inside. But still, that one... What's the dude's name? I don't even know. That one dude. 19 years old. The dude he's
crazy.
The second youngest player in that World Cup, and he took over that game. Everyone says this: the young players are the ones that step up in the World Cup all the time. And this dude, I think, is going to carry this France team. I'll get more into that, but I could see Russia. They're one of the lower. They're one of the lowest ranked teams in the Cup.
Yeah, but they play physical. They
really do.
They don't give a crap about who's in front of them.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be Russia.
Those are these 3 games or the 4 games. I didn't watch the Portugal game, but I watched the other 3 games, and especially today.
Did you see?
We got 2 shootouts today. Oh my
Croatia
god,
was so good,
so fun. That Casper dude was doing so good for Denmark, and then he just choked. Okay, so real quick to finish off with this NBA talk. As soon as LeBron signed in LA, the betting odds for the NBA title next year drastically shifted. So we have Golden State at the top, of course, 5-4 odds. Houston Rockets are 7-2. The Sixers are 7-2. They're the third odds. They're basically tied with Houston.
This is to win the title?
This is to win the title.
Okay.
Boston is next. San Antonio's after them. And the Lakers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6th overall.
I can see that.
Well, actually,
I can.
actually, yeah, because I'm actually looking at these teams underneath, and I can't believe it because the teams underneath them include the Heat, the Cavaliers,
What are the Heat doing so high
the
up?
Rap,
They were horrible.
Deion Waiters, Dwayne Wade, I guess, Hassan Whiteside. I don't know.
They're old. They're a retirement home.
The Heat should not be way up there.
No.
The Cavaliers, the Raptors, 3 East teams, so I agree. Utah, I think Utah's going to be good. Portland, Oklahoma. I love that Portland's above Oklahoma City. That's awesome. Pelicans. So, yeah, so, like, I guess I do agree with this.
Yeah.
I'm sure this will change, especially when Kawhi gets traded, because San Antonio will drop drastically.
Yeah.
So then the Lakers will probably get bumped up, depending on who he gets drafted to. So potentially top 5 team in the league. Which I
can see that.
Especially just because it's LeBron, and we saw what he can do with that bad Cavaliers team.
And it's LeBron. He's playing with Contavious. He's playing with Lonzo. Lonzo's going to be fun if he stays.
Although, LeBron doesn't have a good relationship with point guards.
But when he has to, he does. When he doesn't,
I guess
LeBron isn't in the business of just completely taking over a game and scoring 40 in the fourth quarter anymore. He does that, but if he doesn't have to, he won't.
Yeah,
and he won't have to with this team.
It almost looked like he verbally abused Mario Chalmers in Miami.
Yeah.
And then obviously we know what happened with LeBron and Kyrie. I don't know. He's
getting away from
Colin Sexton, which I'm really happy about.
Yeah, and then I can't even remember his name anymore. Who's the guy that tossed the ball or dribbled back? I can't remember his name anymore.
JR.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's getting as far away from J.R. Smith as possible. Watch J.R. go get traded or something.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited to see LeBron with Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, Isaiah Thomas is a free agent.
Is he?
So they would have to re-up with him.
Well, that's depressing.
Yep. So that'll be interesting. I don't know what'll happen there. But yeah, the Lakers being a top 5 team, I completely agree with.
Yeah.
Because also I just realized that the Cavaliers are that high. They should not be the 8th team.
No.
The Cavaliers should
They're trash.
They should almost be below the Knicks and the Pacers.
They should be below the Knicks and the Pacers. They really should
I don't like that at all. These will obviously change. This is only, I think, really LeBron was the biggest thing for these odds changing. And I'm sure everything will change when people actually sign.
It's like trying to figure out strength of schedule in the preseason.
Absolutely. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I thought that was interesting that the Lakers got bumped up to 6. But now looking at it, it definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
I would put them above the Spurs, even with Kawhi. But other than that, Sixers and Celtics, I agree with. Maybe the Sixers shouldn't be that high.
I'd put the Sixers above the Celtics. I really would. I'd put them at.
You do, really?
I'd put them at. Or no, I'd put the Celtics above the Sixers.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'd put.
I think the
third.
Celtics have. Besides the Lakers now, I just think LeBron would be able to carry any team.
I still think Warriors in 4.
I think if Boston makes it, Boston has a legitimate chance to win against Golden State.
Yeah, but they'd have to win the first game. If you don't win the first game against Golden State, you lose the series.
I disagree. Especially if it's in Boston, they can come back. If they have home court.
If they start.
Yeah, if they start and if they have home court and they start the first 2 games in Boston.
Because it's 2-3-2 now, right?
Yep.
Yeah, if they start in Boston, they can do it. But
Yep.
if they start in Gold, they can't win on the road anyway.
And we saw what happened. You know, they lose that first game and then all hope is lost.
I guess with this last year's finals, it was that the Cavs were so close to winning that game too, and then
it was just a good team versus a bad team. That's all it was.
I think the Cavs had a shot if they could win. If they could steal that first game,
then they can make it a 5-game series.
No, I think they could have won because then it would have set the tone. It really would have.
You think they could have won?
Yeah, it would have been a 7-game series, but I think they could have.
I still would have took Warriors in 6.
I mean, now I see what you're saying. At the time,
I think I'm pretty sure if I go back in my Twitter, I think I said Warriors in 6 too, because I really did think LeBron would steal one in Golden State in those first 2 games, and then I thought he would pick one. In Cleveland.
I don't know. I guess just after that first game, Cleveland
yeah.
felt so deflated.
Oh yeah, after that first game,
It was over.
everyone.
Right.
And you can go back and check my Twitter for that too. After that first game, sweep.
But if they would have stolen that first game,
Then it's a different series.
Yeah.
Completely. I 100% agree.
so I don't know. With the Warriors, it's all about stealing one game. We've seen it every time they've lost in the finals. We have.
Yeah.
I mean, it also helps that LeBron's there, but
Which is why the Lakers have such a good shot.
I still think Warriors in 4, whoever they play in the East.
Yeah. So one last thing. You got something?
Uh,
You want me to go while you think?
yeah.
So my one last thing, I'm going to make a big old bold prediction for the NBA season next year.
Okay.
And this is going to be completely wrong, but I'm going to say it because if it's right, then I look like a genius. The NBA Finals will be the Lakers versus the Bucks.
No.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
The
Giannis versus LeBron.
while that would be great, it's not going to happen.
Going to happen.
You might as well buy tickets.
The
to
Lakers
the
will
one game
be
they
the
see
Lakers will be the
each
third
other.
seed in the Western Conference.
That's even wrong.
What?
They're going to be 2.
Do you think they're going to be above Houston?
Yeah.
No. Not in the regular season. Because obviously LeBron's teams never do good in the first year.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Now Houston has to see the Lakers more often, or LeBron's Lakers more often. The East isn't as easy for the
It'll go Golden
Rockets
State,
anymore.
Houston, LA. And then in the East, it'll go Boston 1, Milwaukee 2, Toronto 3.
No.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
Boston 1, Toronto 2, Philadelphia 3, Milwaukee 4 at highest.
Philadelphia at 4. Milwaukee will be 2. And then Milwaukee will go through the Eastern Conference with Giannis leading the way. And then they will I don't know who I would take in that. But I'm going to Lakers Bucks NBA championship.
Well, I would love to see that. I don't think that's going to happen. Mainly
We'll just
because
have to-
what'll happen is the Bucks will get to the Eastern Conference Finals and then they'll choke. Someone will hit a game-winning 3. They'll miss a shot clock violation. Something will happen. It's Wisconsin tradition.
Yeah.
My one last thing. Do you want me to stick NBA? Because I can't.
You don't have to.
Okay. My one last thing is I had something and now I can't remember it. Oh, this is gonna bug me so bad. Oh,
okay.
I think that the Brewers are gonna win the Central, and they're gonna make it to the conference final again, but they're gonna lose.
Really?
Again,
You think
tradition.
so? Yeah. I would be so disappointed. I would rather them not make the playoffs than lose in the championship. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the thing is, if they make the playoffs, it'll be the first time in 7 years.
That's true.
And the
7 years.
And the last time they made the playoffs, they lost in the conference final to St. Louis.
To St. Louis, yeah, that was
So-
heartbreaking.
I think they're going to get close. They'll force a Game 7, but they'll lose because it won't be at home. Actually, no, I'm going to change that. Ed Sheeran will not be able to play his October show at Miller Park because it will be Game 1 of the World Series.
I was really confused where you were going with that for a second. I had no idea.
Because if he's going to be there, he's going to be throwing out the first pitch of Game 1 of the World Series.
Why would we have Ed Sheeran on the pitch? You know, instead of this concert that was going to make you a lot of money, can you just come throw this ball real quick to start the game off?
But
you have no significance to Milwaukee.
But can you just imagine why would Miller Park even do that? I mean, I know why, but
Right. Shit gets canceled.
yeah,
It happens all the time.
but like that's a lot of money to reserve that venue and stuff.
That's true.
If I'm Ed Sheeran, why would I even do that? You don't sign a anyway.
Okay. I like that. I hope it happens. I really do think the Brewers could do it this year.
They could. They just gotta stop blowing.
We got to stop getting injured.
They gotta stop splitting series.
Me and Kyle talked about this on Friday. It's the injury bug. They're
Yeah.
looking like a Wisconsin team now because they got hit with the injury bug, and it's not good.
Yeah, it's gonna be a heck of a summer though. Summer in September.
So, real quick, obviously, this isn't live. Weird. This is the first time my show isn't live. I'm trying out. I'm probably going to record all of this week just to experiment, just to see what I maybe like better. I honestly feel a lot more comfortable right now because I know no one's listening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Someone will be listening,
right?
But no one's listening right now.
So
I can go back and change stuff.
So no one can live tweet at you calling you bad names.
Thankfully, that hasn't happened yet because I'm pretty sure the only one that listens live is my sister, Kay. Shout out, Kay.
Apparently, my dad does too. Shout out, Doug.
Listens live?
Yeah.
No way.
Apparently, he told me that he does.
I want to know the numbers for people that actually listen live because I'm interested.
Well, yeah.
Because they're going to be disappointed tomorrow. I'm going to be here at noon, and I'm gonna go on at noon and be like, "Hey, I'm not on."
just send out a mass tweet.
Oh, I will.
Yeah,
I'm going to tweet out, and then I'm going to go on air at noon and just explain stuff to you too. But yeah, so I'm recording right now. If you guys have a preference, if anyone out there, if you do listen live and you really want me to keep doing it, let me know. I'm going to take that into consideration. I might be changing the schedule around too. There's a lot of different things in the works. Comment on my on this podcast. Tweet me. Hit me on Facebook. Anything. Just let me know what you want. And I'll take it into consideration. But, for now, things will still be consistent until I update you guys on a schedule change. It'll still be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Thank you, everyone, for listening. My show is live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, probably again next week from noon to 1, WSUW 91.7 The Edge. Available via podcast on SoundCloud and YouTube. Just search First Round KO, subscribe, and shoot me a comment. You'll get notified every time my podcast goes live. Remember, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Real quick, thank you, Carter, for coming on. Always a pleasure.
No problem. It was fun.
Always fun. You'll be on again, I'm sure. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Go shoot your shot. I'll see you guys on Wednesday.
Reel it in. Begging, please, don't make me feel this again. Things are getting eerie like the lake that's down in Michigan. Had a good year, kinda tired, word to Michelin. At the finish line, go get the checkered flag. Take a couple more shots, that's extended mag. I don't mean to brag, you smell the scented bag. I pull up solo at the function, I'm a tennis stag. Stone cold bachelor, acid rapping chancellor. Couple years an amateur, but never had it.